What's going on, ladies and gents? We've got a fragrance from Clinique, and it's not happy. Strap up.
Okay, doing it for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let this in into the room. You are on top, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Today from the house of Clinique, we have a vintage fragrance, and it is Aromatics Elixir. Bet you guys didn't know that existed unless you're a connoisseur. Give me a quick second. I'm just typing this in. I want to see what year this is from. 1971. This vintage haul has been one for the books. Let's see what we're getting into. I've only smelled Happy from Clinique. I thought it was very average and generic. I think a lot of people hype it up to be something it's not. It's a good smelling scent in the air, but as a fragrance, it's not very fragrancy to me, and the performance was quite buns. Let's see what it's hitting for on this. I will apply it to skin. And already off the bat, it smells better than Happy. To what extent, I don't know, but it's more interesting. I remember smelling Happy for men and women and just thinking, wow, what a really generic starter pack fragrance that is just not interesting at all. This is interesting. This has kind of like a wet rose feel to it. I wonder if there's rose in this. This is really interesting. The blend is smooth, and as a perfume, it smells very well blended. It smells like there's a lot going on that's very well blended. This smells, oh my gosh, what does that smell? Okay, so women, there was this, there used to be acne, what was it? Proactive. Okay, so Proactive used to be a 3-pack set when we were growing up, and you would see it marketed on the TV all the time. People who struggle with acne and like bad skin on your face and stuff like that, they would give you a wash, a toner, and a lotion. And so you'd get this little kit, and people marketed it like crazy because on TV you would see before and after somebody who had red bumps and acne and dry skin and all that, and then they'd have this smooth, glowing skin. And I remember as a kid, I didn't struggle with acne heavily, but I always was just fascinated by this. Like, man, I want to have this juicy, plush, smooth skin. And so I invested in it. And when I got it, the wash, the toner in it, it was like a little green bottle. This smells like that with a little bit more fragranciness to it. But that's what it reminds me of, the toner smell from the Proactive. Proactive used to go crazy. Everybody had at least tried it when I was growing up in high school. It's this super fresh, green, aromatic, somewhat fresh, spicy kind of feel. But it has, again, I know many of you probably won't have smelled this, but it smells like the toner from Proactive, you know? I don't really know what to call this, guys, in terms of getting your headspace in it. Yeah, it's just this slightly balsamically sweet, almost feels like you're in a nail salon, kind of cosmetic-y section at Sephora, toner kind of liquid to it. It's super fresh, spicy, it's aromatic, it's clean, it has this little dampness of sweetness. What is something outside of that toner I can tell you it smells like? Maybe let's go to the note breakdown. This bottle looks incredible, guys. I want you to check this out. What a sweet looking bottle. Aromatics Elixir. Okay. So 3.79 out of 5 out of 7,000 votes. So a lot of people bought this back in the day, even to now. It's a chypre-floral. See, now I know what that means, but I know you guys don't understand what that means. Yeah, and I do want to say this is a fragrance for the ladies. I guess I should have opened up with that. Because it has that kind of cosmetic-y skin toner type of scent profile to it, it does smell feminine in that regard. I wouldn't recommend that men really rock with this, but for a female wearing this, this would just smell like you put skin toner on your face, and it smells clean and it smells feminine, but doesn't really smell fragrancy. So I think this, like, older women might find this attractive on themselves because it's got this very like high-end beauty product skin toner kind of feel to it, and it's very projective. So if you're a woman that prefers like something that wears closer to skin, that has good projection, but it doesn't smell like super fragrancy, it's closer to like the beauty of the natural skin scent after you use soaps and shampoos and then put your toners and your makeup on. It's just really well presented. I'm not going to say all these notes, guys. In fact, I don't even want to dare to say what parts of this are in there. I do get ylang ylang and carnation a lot in the most freshest white floral way possible. So maybe even that tuberose and orange blossom, lemon verbena, that part's really sticking out. It does have a really strong aldehydic bergamot backbone. The oak moss, patchouli, incense, vetiver, sandalwood, and musk. I'm going to keep it real with you. For me, it doesn't even really dry down to that. Like, it dries down to this very airy, like bergamonte oak moss, white florally type of vibe. Is there anything they say this is like? I mean, it smells really good. I would smell it on a woman, but I wouldn't really think she's wearing a perfume. But I think she works at a cosmetics section in a Sephora, but she's a real elegant, middle of the road, 30 to 50 age kind of vibe. It reminds people of, oh, this one got a lot of votes. So you got to be careful because Amouage here, 250 people said yes, 220 people said no. So this one has the highest vote ratio. Yes. Aramis for men. And that got a 4.2 out of 10. Similar vibe. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's solid for my ladies out there, but I don't think women under 30 could really appreciate something like this because you're going to think it smelled like your mom when you were a kid if she worked outside the house. But I do think it's good. It does, I will say, for my ladies out there, outside of the whole cosmetic-y, proactive kind of scent profile, it does kind of have a bit of a like, and this is going to sound crazy, but I don't really care. It does kind of have a fresh diaper-ish quality to it where it's like this clean, old school type of scent approach to like carnations and aldehydes, kind of like the little scent that they give baby stuff that makes it smell like baby stuff, So it has a bit of that to it. It is more elegant and more womanly than that, but the vibe and tone of it almost has the fresh diapers feel to it. I'm not mad at it though. If a woman properly aged was wearing this, I would give it somewhere between a 7 and an 8, but I would lean down to a 7 from the male perspective because as a man smelling this, it just smells like you have a lot of beauty product on in the softest way possible. But there is kind of like this French old elegance to it where this would have smelled a lot more prestigious on a woman back in the day. It would have smelled like she had her stuff together. She was on her way to being successful. She didn't need anybody around. She's just this independent woman that is kind of the peak of elegance and beauty naturally. I think a lot of women who could appreciate this may even call this upwards of a 9. I think in today's world, it's probably a 8, but from a man's perspective, I give it a 7 because it's quite generic. I wouldn't want to smell this on somebody under 30, but over 30, I think the woman would make this fragrance. She'd still have to do her part to make it smell good. So I'm at a 7 out of 10 with it. But I'm sure a lot of women might call it an old school classic, kind of like how Kouros might be viewed by men as like an old school, soapy sweet classic. Aromatics Elixir is kind of like 80s and 90s natural beauty and angelic elegance. Performance, let me just speak to that real quick. I think the performance is actually surprisingly going to be very well, despite the concentration. People say it's eternal and long lasting, so maybe 4 or 5 sprays, you are good. Season-wise, I think this leans into the fall or cooler weather, spring, summer, but I think it's an indoor fragrance or a not super hot fragrance. This is a fragrance that would be very nice with a nice little breeze, but not too cold. So it's that type of, it's circumstantial and weather-based, not necessarily completely season-based, depending on where you're at. I like it. It's growing on me. It has a fragrance of the past kind of feel to it, but an elegant, angelic beauty fragrance from the past kind of nostalgia to it, where I could have definitely seen my mom smelling like this. That's an episode for a later date. Fragrances my mom wore growing up. But anyways, ladies, tread carefully. I think you should put your nose on this to appreciate the time period, because this was probably very nice. Probably even considered maybe even a staple utility masterpiece for women back in the day. I do like it. It's very motherly, but youthful mother. Like when I was young and my mom was 30 type of feel. She would have came home, put her bags down. I would have loved to smell this on her. It's very comforting in that way. Alternatives, I can't really speak to a lot of alternatives in the vintage world, guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I don't think... Yeah, there's a man's fragrance called Aramis 900 Aramis in here that people seem to think smells close, but all the other recommendations are just so split left and right. It does remind me of some old vintage Guerlain, not necessarily like Shalimar or Chamade, but it definitely seems like it's an elegantly, slightly modern take on some of the old vintage Guerlain that I've been smelling. It's growing on me quite a bit. This is a fragrance I would want to smell if I wanted to be reminded of my mother when I was young. It's cozy, it's comforting, it's elegant, it's angelic. I think in the opening it had that very proactive skin toner kind of feel, but the more it sits, the more of the other florals are starting to creep out and other elements, and it's becoming more fragrancy. Yeah. It's good, guys. It's actually really good. If you let me sit here for long enough today, I might call it an 8. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. This was Clinique's Aromatics Elixir. Ladies, definitely put your nose on it. If you're an older lady, this would be nostalgic to you and be a nice, peaceful elegance that probably you won't find in your collection today with how crazy the women's fragrances are getting. Just so redundant to me and loud, and this kind of just sneakily talks with elegance and beauty and prestige, and it's also nostalgic. I'll probably be smelling my arm all day to see an updated review on this, but ladies, definitely get your nose on it. Let me know if you've tried it. I definitely think it's worth trying because it might really speak to you. Just don't wear it around your man. Or if you're dating a guy, because he might think of you as his, she reminds me of my mother, that type of vibe. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you all. You have a blessed rest of your day, and until next time. Peace.